is the moon?
What is the moon?
The moon is a body that orbits the Earth. It is made up of materials such as silicon and iron. On the Earth, the moon causes ocean tides, which is because of the moon's gravitational pull. The spots you see on the moon's surface are actually not parts of the face. They're impacts from asteroids that strike the moon's surface. Did you know that people on Earth have only ever seen one side of the moon? The opposite side of the moon has only ever been seen by pictures from spacecrafts.
When you look up to the moon, what do you see? You probably see some dark spots scattered around the brightness of the rest of the moon. These dark spots are called moon craters. If you look closely, you can also see lines extending from the spots. These are called ejecta rays. So what makes craters? As we said before, craters are created by space rocks or asteroids colliding with the moon's surface at a high speed. The impact is so powerful that it leaves a mark on the moon. To showcase this today, we are going to be doing a cratering activity. The materials you're going to need for this activity are cocoa powder, flour, a spoon, sprinkles, a cake tin, and rocks. First, you'll start by adding a 1-inch layer of flour to your cake pan. Next, you're going to add a layer of cake sprinkles to mimic rocks and minerals on the moon. Finally, you're going to add a layer of cocoa to serve as the moon's surface. Make sure it covers all the flour and sprinkles. If you're going to be doing this inside, maybe put down a paper towel to catch any debris you might end up spilling. Now, lift one of your rocks high above the tin and drop it. Once you've released all your asteroids, make sure you gently remove them from your moon so you can see the craters that they left. You can see the sprinkles are an example of rocks and minerals being ejected from the moon as a crater is formed.
The
pattern that the flower forms is an example of the ejecta rays. You can see it dispersing out in streaks from the cratering sites.
Have you ever noticed that the moon changes shape throughout the month? Well, it isn't actually changing shape. The only thing that changes is how much the sun has lit up the moon at that point in time. Sunlight only comes from one direction. The moon's position relative to the Earth determines how much of the moon we can see. Half of the moon is always facing the sun, while the other half is always facing the Earth. But sometimes these halves aren't always the same, so that's why we see the moon in different phases. This is a visual of how we see the moon throughout the month. Here's the sun, and here's the Earth. Notice when the moon is directly between the sun and the Earth, we can't see the moon at all. It's completely dark. But when the moon is on this side of the Earth, opposite of the sun, we can see a full moon.
So, what is the history of human life on the moon? The first mission to successfully land on the moon landed in July of 1969. We have actually sent 6 successful missions to land on the moon, and 12 total people have walked on the moon. And the last manned mission to land on the moon landed in 1972. Conditions on the moon are a little bit different than they are here on Earth. On the moon, there's no atmosphere and no oxygen, so that's why astronauts have to wear spacesuits. Gravity on the moon is also a lot less, so you feel much lighter up there. In fact, the moon only has 16.5% of the Earth's gravity. This means you would weigh 83.5% less if you were on the moon. much would you weigh on the moon? How much would your dog weigh? How much would an elephant weigh? To give a quick visual, these 6 rocks would weigh about the weight of just 1 rock, so you can really see what big difference it would be. Things weigh less on the moon due to its gravity. Because the moon is a lot smaller than the Earth, it has less pull on you towards its center, which is why it feels like you weigh less. But your mass stays the same. One small step for Gecko, one giant